Hey everybody, it's Andy. Welcome to Thursday Live Office Hours. Great to be here. Great to have you. See a whole bunch of people in the chat. I'm going to help you all build a career you love. Whether you're job searching or have that career or just want it to take off, I'm here for you. I'm here for you. So get in the chat, say hi, let me know where you're from, let me know what you do, let me know what you need. Put some question marks in front of your questions so I can find them. And let's see, what else? If you're in one of my programs, let me know. Give me your hashtag, boot campers and leaders and I-teamers. I always love to give you the celebratory shout out. I love this time of day. I love this time of week. All right, so we're going right into a Q&A today. I do have some announcements. We'll get to those as we go. But I do want to spend a solid hour answering as many of your questions as I possibly can. So let's get started. I see one from Jocelyn. Great to have you. Welcome to Live Office Hours. Just joined Mile Walk. Love to see it. So welcome aboard, struggling with the overqualified category and hoping for guidance. And Jocelyn, what I would do is I would check out my video on how to answer the overqualified remark. So basically when you're in an interview or if you get an email, even before the interview, somebody looks at your resume and says, Jocelyn, you appear to be overqualified for this role. I cover it in that video. I cover how to say, what to say, and all that good stuff. I give you different options. Just check that out. Already packaged it for you. If you didn't say this, but often this goes hand in hand with being overqualified. Usually that happens more to the seasoned people like me in the over 50 crowd, but you could be 30 and overqualified for something. So I don't know if you are in my demographic, but if you are, I have videos out there on how to job search or job search advice for over 50-year-olds, as well as some ageism videos and how to preempt it and how to overcome it in an interview. So check those out, Jocelyn. Great to have you. Welcome to the Mile Walk Academy. Adam Stark from the other side of the pond. Adam says, hey, Andy, I watched your video on dealing with failure, or really what he was referring to is how to answer the question when you're in a job interview. Tell me about a time when you failed. And he's asking, what if the project was generally a case of you doing the best you can, but unreliable people brought it down? Thanks, I hope you're well. Okay, so couple of things here. And I'm going to give you this from a completely unemotional, objective, completely detached, and void of emotion perspective. So you got two things about what you just said. It could actually be true, meaning you are a superstar and your team sucks, right? They drag you down. They're like the albatross around your neck. You got all these creative ideas and you can't go anywhere because, you're trying to please everybody. Whatever the case may be, if that is the case and you truly are a superstar, what I would say is you've got to take ownership. The whole premise of the advice I gave you in that video was about taking ownership, sharing the failure, whatever it is. And I don't even love the word failure because I don't really think in terms of failures and successes. I just think in terms of experiences and how you grow from them. Just because you thought you should accomplish more, succeed more, all that good stuff is usually a function of improper or unjustified expectations. But let's just say, sake of argument, you do have something that you feel was a legitimate failure and you do feel that you're a star but your team is dragging you down. I think you need to share the story, and I think you need to own the failure. So it's okay to say something like, the resources on the team collectively were probably not optimal for what we were doing. That's okay to share, but I think that would be the extent of it. And then I would go on about how if I really am truly objective, I feel like I should own all the situations that I'm a part of, and the things that I could have done better are. That's it. I would not be talking about my team. The only thing I would refer beyond what I just said about my team is the fact that you should have helped coach them better. right? That's how I look at that. We are all the criminal in every scene of the crime in our life, and I think you need to own that. And then the other thing in that video, for the folks who haven't seen it, I would highly recommend watching it. But I talk about what happened, what you learned, and the other thing you want to share is your philosophy about failure. I'm not going to go into all that other stuff because it's in the video and I packaged it already for you. But my other recommendation for you and anybody else who thinks like that is you need to figure out a way to own up, and I mean be genuine about it. Everything that happens at the Mile Walk Academy or the Mile Walk search firm is my doing. It truly is. If somebody on our team didn't do something exactly the way he or she was supposed to, then it was my job to make sure I coached them better, gave them better templates, gave them better instruction. It all starts and stops with me. And one other thing that I would do, I highly recommend this book for you, Adam, and everybody else, by the great, recently late Sean Stevenson. It's called Get Off Your Butt, B-U-T. And I think you'll enjoy it. It's about taking ownership in your life. It's about a lot of things. Really an interesting fella, and he recently passed. It's Stevenson with a P-H, not a V. Look him up, check it out, get the book, and channel that into that response. I really think it'll help. And I think you'll enjoy the book because it's a damn fine book. All right. Natalie Taylor, my boot camper, great to see you from Central PA. Got a question. Any thoughts on employee-owned companies? I've noticed that a number of my target companies are ESOPs. I kind of like the idea, but are there any drawbacks, benefits? Thank you for your direction. I will say, I'm going to give you some thoughts, but I'm going to give you a pretty pat answer here. Every company is unique. There are some publicly traded companies that suck and some that are awesome, and some privately traded companies that are awesome and that suck, and there are family-owned companies that are awesome and family-owned companies that suck. And so since you are in the boot camp and you have all the assets to evaluate organizations, I would use that and all the umpteen videos, templates, questions, and everything that I gave you to assess whether an organization is not only a good company, but a good company for you. Okay? That's first and foremost. Second thing is, it really comes down to when you evaluate an employee-owned company, you want to evaluate it, and Natalie, you have this asset, but there is a subsection in the interviewing module of the boot camp that talks about how to evaluate small and medium-sized companies. Don't worry about whether they're family-owned or not. You need to lean heavily on those lessons that help you get into some things that usually are not visible. So I would access that. The other thing is when you are looking at a family-owned company, this is what I'm going to tell you now is specific to a family-owned organization. You need to make sure that they are open and welcoming of ideas. They have people who are non-family members at the helm. They don't need to be the CEO or the president, but people that are in those vice president, senior vice president, or whatever their very senior level positions are, that really have influence, and that those insights from a non-family member are welcome and implemented, and there is a history of that, so that it truly is a collaborative environment in that nature. So I think that that's very important for you to look for. If everybody in a senior position is a family member, I'm not saying it's an awful company. I'm saying that would raise my antenna to the sky, and I would be incredibly diligent about seeing and evaluating whether I think they were collaborative or not, and whether they were welcoming of ideas. And that's really the biggest issue with family-owned companies is, they tend to be of different kinds. Sometimes it's, hey, we've always done it this way. Grandpa did it this way. Dad and mom did it this way. Sibs are doing it this way, and so on. Then there's other kind of family companies where, the son or daughter thinks the folks weren't creative enough. Then they want to change things and everything goes haywire, or maybe everything becomes successful. any of those possibilities are there. It's just, for me, I think the thing that's more important is the questions you ask against your requirements. So the things that you feel are important. I know your situation, and one of the reasons why you left your most recent company, if I remember correctly, was that the people had been there a very long time. They were not really open to change or very receptive to it. So that kind of stuff does follow around family-owned companies. Not 100%, but it is a stigma and a stereotype that, well, let's be honest, stereotypes are stereotypes because they're true in general, right? So that's the way I would look at that. I would lean on all those things I mentioned to you, though, and I would go at it heavily. Connie Cotter, our beloved Wisconsinner, my boot camper, my leader. Hey, great to see you. Excited to spend some time with us today and back at you. And I know you didn't mean Tara, you meant Kara. Anne Marie, how are you? Hey, all. Found Andy 4 months ago. Great to have you. Have been binge watching and consuming all things Andy and Mile Walk, and recently received a copy of Interview Intervention. Awesome. SAHM. Don't see that acronym a lot. Stay-at-home mom. Since 2015, we'll be looking for a new career this summer. All 3 kids in school, full-time and fall. Finally, any tips on what I should be focusing now before actively searching? Yes. Wait, there's another one. Worked 8 years in publishing. Prior to that, 7 years as an administration of office management. Would love to get an AAEA type job. Anything I should focus on since I've been over 10 years in such a role. So that's a lot there, but here's what I would do. First thing is, I have a book that I wrote. It's free for you. I'm not talking about interview intervention. I'm talking about how to go from stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home dad, I called it stay-at-home parent, to professional, and it basically takes you through some of the things that I would recommend. Now, I wrote that book a few years back, and so not all the latest, and I don't update every single asset that I've created, free assets that is, but I would grab it. You can get it on my blog. Maybe you have it already. And I would look at some of the challenges that I identify that you have to overcome. Now, these are not insurmountable in any way, shape, or form, especially because it's only been 4 or 5 years. So what I would do is I would watch my videos on how to handle employment gaps, and I would look at how you want to package your expertise. So if you are going back to work, you should be circulating a resume that ends in 2015 with your professional experience. In the profile, in the career profile, what I would do is I would say, returning to the workforce after 4-year, whatever you want to call it, basically after 4 years of family care. That's it. That's all the explanation you need. And then it's about highlighting the things that you want to accentuate. So if you would like an EAAA type of job, I would take the data from your professional history. I would make that the premise of your profile. I would make the highlights that you identify very EA or AA specific. And then I would be sending my cover letters out and doing all the other things that I would instruct anybody to do that's been off for 4 months, let alone 4 years. But I would grab that booklet. I would check that out. I would come to, let me make one announcement. Well, let me make 2 announcements. Anne Marie was referencing this book, Interview Intervention. If you don't know it, it's free. This $29 book is free, 0 cost. The ebook is free. The audiobook is free. There's an ebook called How to Interview the Employer, 75 great questions to ask before you take any job. That's free too. If you pay $7 for the envelope and the guys to pick it in the warehouse, I will send this to you anywhere. So we just got 4,423 more copies of this put on the shelf, so they're ready for you. All right, so that's that. And then the other thing is I have a job interview mastery workshop that starts on the 21st of January. It's the 21st, the 23rd, and the 28th and the 30th. And so it's 4 days free, Tuesday and Thursday at 11 a.m. Central Time. And that leads in, it's kind of a bonanza right into a whole nother one of my job search boot camp blitzes where I do live coaching every Friday for a month. And that is also on special. So check those things out. Got a lot of free stuff. Got some great premium stuff there. And Anne-Marie, it was good to know you are from New Jersey. Tony P. from Dunedin. You could put Dunedin in there, Tony. I know it's you. Peter P. Hey, Andy, I received an email today saying there are 150 plus applicants. It's taking longer than expected, but you are still in the running. How do I use this email to get to the top of the pile? So, one thing you can bet, one thing you didn't tell me, but you can bet they didn't go through all 150 applicants. There might be 150 applicants, and they can see that because there's a number that flashes on the screen that says 150 people applied to this role. They probably have some kind of filter, and they probably looked at, I don't know, maybe 20 resumes. Maybe. Probably less. Of those, then you need to know, is what they sent you an automated email, or was it a handcrafted email? You should be able to tell the difference. Does it look like it was system generated? Is it nicely signed by somebody? Does it say, hi you, or does it say, hi Peter P? You know, what does it look like? If it looks automated, that's okay. You got something you can respond to. If it's automated, I responded, I would try to, if it doesn't have a name, I would try to find a name that you could bank on and take a shot, or say dear hiring team or dear recruitment team or dear whatever, and then talk about, I would paraphrase things in your cover letter and why you're such a strong candidate for this role. I would almost give them a quasi cover letter again, because there is a great likelihood, and when I say great, I mean like 99.9% chance they didn't read your cover letter. So now, if they do take the time to read this email, you'll be able to get some of those things in there, and I would express how greatly interested you are in the role. You're willing to, make schedule accommodations, whatever you're willing, need to do to make it, in to see them. If it looks like it is a non-automated message, then you should reply, and then I would be a little bit more gushy about responding to the person who actually replied to you, if you genuinely think this is a non-standard automated message. So, hey, Andy, thank you so much. I want to thank you for reviewing my resume and so on and so forth, and then go into your cover letter stuff. A slight difference, but it does pay dividends if it's actually a human, because if it's actually a human, they will actually read your response in that case. So that's what I would do. Let's hope your resume and all those good things were in order. It's hard to tell, if it was, pulled out or if it was automatically pulled out. So go with that. Cecilia, my boot camper, got a return ship at a bank. Congratulations to you. Ingrid Giles, another boot camper. Great to see you. Recruiters contacted me for a position, talked and sent out resume of the interested position, and no response from them after a week with a follow-up. Can I apply directly to the company? So Ingrid, the great thing about what you said there with that last question is that answered what was going through my head as I was reading your question is, was it a corporate recruiter or was it a third-party recruiter? Now, third-party recruiters that basically send you the role that they're reaching out to you about are the ultimate in lazy and the bottom of the barrel recruiters. I'm sorry if I offended any of you that are headhunters out there, but the fact of the matter is, if your greatest value to anybody that you are trying to open a relationship with is whatever job you have in your hand, I consider that bottom of the barrel. Okay, you've got to provide value as you're reaching out to people like Ingrid and whoever else it is. So Ingrid, when they reach out to you, if they have not gotten back to you after a week or so, what I would do is I would say, I'm just reaching out again. I'd like to give you a few more days to get back to me. If I don't hear from you by, Like, Ingrid, send it today. Tell them if you don't hear from them by Monday at the end of the day, you are going to apply directly to the company. Just do that. And I'm pretty dang sure that one of a couple things is going to happen. They're either going to contact you back, or if they don't contact you back, then what's likely happening is they're well down the road with somebody else that their client likes. And the reason that I stress they're well down the road with a candidate that their client likes, or the client called off the search, or something completely deprioritized. But if there's any other situation other than they're well down the road or they're about to close the position, they will get back to you, because they won't want to miss the chance that if you are the right fit, that they want to put you in there, because otherwise they're not going to be compensated. So the other thing that you all need to know, two things here. Number one, Ingrid, and anybody who is contacted by a third-party recruiter, if you are contacted by a third-party recruiter, whether this is LinkedIn or whether this is the email, there is a great likelihood that that recruiter is not the one who's actually contacting you. So let's put it in terms you'll understand. At Mile Walk, occasionally, not really much anymore, but occasionally Kara would use my email address to contact somebody. Now, why would we do that? Maybe she is looking at them and I, as the recruiter, my profile has a little more cachet. So when you look at me, you say, oh, that Andy's a guy I need to know. Even though there are a lot of people, researchers, sourcers, other lower level recruiters, other people who might be handling my account for me, in which case you are responding back to me. If that person is not curating all those responses and it's sitting in my queue and I'm not looking at it, that's possible. Okay, that's possible. So the most important thing is you do respond, then you give them a second chance to respond. So I would send a follow-up. This stuff happens. Okay, I go into this and other insider tips and tricks like this in a video that I have out there about working with executive recruiters, working with third-party search firms. I would highly recommend that you watch that video, but there's a lot that could be going on behind the scenes. And then the reason that they might not be responding, it could be because of what I just mentioned that goes on behind the scenes sometimes, but also it could be because the priority dropped. Okay, so something could have happened. Maybe another search firm filled it. Maybe they're about to fill it. But if it's in place still, they will get back to you. They will. So that's what I would do. So that's a little bit of an insider tip there, but I would get back to them, give them a shot, give them a deadline, and then go. It's really cloudy today. Kathy M., how you doing? Great to see you. Stacy Gilmore's got the blue wrench. Did everybody get the email we sent out on Wednesday about the communities? So if you are in the Mile Walk Academy, meaning you have paid for something, anything. If you've paid $7 to get this book sent to you, or the interview intervention book, the other book that I just held up, if you paid anything to us in the Mile Walk Academy, we consider you a paying member. $7, that's paying. $97, that's paying. $500, that's paying, and so on. You are all eligible to be in our private LinkedIn group and our private Facebook group. If you are in any of those programs and you are not in the Mile Walk Academy Facebook group and you want to get in the group, send a message to support@milewalk.com. If you are interested in getting in our private groups, I would grab something. Grab something, but you got to swipe a credit card or a PayPal or something like that. And we've got a live session inside the Facebook group on Tuesday, this coming up Tuesday at 11, just for the people in the Mile Walk Academy. So great to see you all. And I know I'm just kind of sprinkling the announcements here, but that is important. Tiago, how are you? Deborah, sorry, how you doing, my boot camper? I don't know about normalcy. The holidays were just, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays for me. I just zipped right through. Matt Davies, how are you? Jeff McDonald, Boot camper, how you doing? Hey, Sandra from Texas. I just ordered a bunch of stuff from an outfit in Austin, Texas, of all places. Daniel, I don't know if it's Mahias? Happy New Year to you. All the best in 2020. Same to you. All right, my probation period ends in a couple weeks. Should I ask my boss now how things went or wait until the formal review? I would say every week for your entire probation period, you should ask how things are coming along and things you should focus on. So right now, you can hang up on me and go ask right now. For sure, don't wait. Can you please tell me 2 or 3 key things that I should bring up at the end of this probation meeting? Well, the things you should have brought up in the beginning of the probation period are what is expected of me, what are the success metrics by which during my probation period I will be evaluated on, those kinds of things, what's most important, and all that good stuff. So I would be wanting to know how I measured up against those things, and I probably would be asking them right now. I don't know. I did a first 90 days live webcast. Oh goodness, I can't even remember when I did it. I think I did it in December last month. And I don't know if you caught that. We have not put out a replay. One thing you could do, I don't know if you are in my leadership program, but if you are in my monthly subscription program, the leadership program, you get my $400 Career Accelerator program for free. And the first module of that program is how to nail the first 90 days. But the other modules also center around getting a promotion, which for you would be getting through your probation period. And the other thing is how to prepare for the 5th module of the 5 modules is about how to prepare for and conduct your reviews. So you're coming up at the end of a probation review. It would be a pretty good thing for you to grab. And for $49, you could cancel at any time. You can get in and you could watch that Career Accelerator program. Not that I would hope that you do that, but if you wanted to, you can have access to that right away. I give it to you right away as soon as you jump in the program. You can also jump in the program for a year and cut the price in half, but in which you also get the program. So check that out. Gary Blackburn from Arizona. Hey, Frank Sewell, my boot camper and leader, and Joe Winter, my boot camper. How are you? Kyle Williams, my VIP. Yes, you are. If you don't know what the VIP program is, you should check out the boot camp page, and Kyle is one of those. That's awesome, buddy. Great to have you. Connie Mack. Colorado. Love it. Jorge, I should say. You're my boot camp, right? What are the most important topics to discuss with a friend I'm meeting tonight who works at my target company? I've messaged the manager too. Okay, so when I'm networking with somebody who is going to give me insider information, the first question that I would probably... So here's what I'm you. I'm going to dinner tonight with my bud. I would go armed with every single piece of public information that I could get my hand on. And I would review all that and I would study it. And then I would go to that session, and here's your tight answer. What can I not see? What goes on inside this place? What's the culture really like? Do you know this person that I'm, want to target or whatever? I want the insider stuff, and I want all the insider stuff related to the culture, the opportunities, how they treat people, what it's really like to work there, all the cultural components that are important to you, right? The people that you could potentially work with, what does he or she know about them? That's what I would focus on. That's what I would focus on, for sure. Hey, Amelia LaCivita, that's Mom LaCivita. How are you, Mom? Good to see you. Maybe Dad's sitting there with you. Maybe he's prepping dinner or something. I don't know. Bill Adams, 60-year-old studying UAS in Grand Forks, North Dakota for a life change. Love it. Jorge, I think it is. On 1/5/20, The manager messaged me through LinkedIn saying that they are just coming out of a hiring freeze and they'll start hiring again soon. I'm basically communicating with 2 people there now. Okay, it's interesting. I know that is more of a statement than a question. Anybody, any of you who are interviewing with any company that is in a hiring freeze, run. They will eventually come out of it. I get that. But great companies never go in a hiring freeze, ever. They are always hiring, or they are always in recruitment mind. So if they got 100 people, they can kick 10 of them out and trade out for you, which would be an improvement. So if people are giving you that we're in a hiring freeze business or nonsense, move on. Don't spend any time. Let them get back to you. I wouldn't even be paying a whole lot of attention. I really wouldn't. So just you got to remember that. Those are bad signs. You never want to hear the words hiring freeze, ever. Susan Simpson, hello, I have a question about networking on LinkedIn. I see a lot of contacts with no name, just LinkedIn member. This is challenging. Susan, I'm not. So, couple things. If you are, I'm assuming you are a non-paying LinkedIn member, meaning you are not paying for any type of LinkedIn premium. If you pay a small amount, you can get access and you won't be seeing LinkedIn member. It's not that they don't have names, it's that those names are not visible to you. So one thing you could do is get in on I believe this is the case. Don't crucify me if it's not. But I believe if you even get in at the lowest level premium packet of LinkedIn, you should be able to see all of the people in the database, first connections, second connections, third connections, and so on. Now, one of the things that we do in the Job Search Bootcamp to help you overcome this, now this is a paid option, we teach you how to write Google Boolean. We call it LinkedIn X-ray, but basically you go into Google and you set your search parameters. We show you exactly how to write the syntax and how to search for people that are in alignment with what you're looking for. And what it does is it searches Google, but it searches the LinkedIn database, and then it retrieves the results back in Google, and you can look and you can see all the profiles. Then what'll happen is you can see whatever's visible in the public, but if you log into LinkedIn and you try to see that person, it's probably going to say LinkedIn member or something like that, but you'll know who it is. And there's a lot more that you can do with that. Now, the Bootcamp is a premium program. It's on special this entire month, but those are other options. I know it's challenging, but I would also, if you want to hang out on my YouTube channel, there is a whole bunch of networking videos that I have out there that you can look at. There's a whole job search playlist, and in the playlist there's networking videos that I think you'll enjoy. So check that out. 11:33. All right. So if you guys are loving this, click the little thumbs up button and share it. YouTube loves the shares, and I love the shares. There's a lot of people out there that that need help, and I want to help them. So please do that. Uzoma, my LinkedIn friend, tuning in from London. Great to see you. Maybe, what is it, like 5:30 there? Maybe. Kushba, I don't know if that's how you say your name. I'd love it if you could tell me the pronunciation. Hello, everyone. I'm in the job search process, 3 months. I've been working with a career counselor and made necessary edits to my resume and not getting phone interviews. Also, what's wrong? So I would definitely recommend my resume playlist. That's the first place I would start if you are not getting any interviews. It is likely due to your resume and or your networking tactics. Okay, so resume stuff, networking stuff. I have a couple of webinars that you should check out. 3 secrets to get your resume noticed. It's a free recorded webinar. I have another webinar called How to Find a Job You Love. That's also recorded and it's free. And maybe Stacy can pop those in to the chat. If you, Stacy, if you can grab those and pop them in, that would be great. All right. Andrew followed your advice, including the way I should say them. Awesome. You're welcome. Lori Pearson. What is the best way to get the hiring manager's name within an organization? Would it be best to just call the company and ask the receptionist, or is there a better way? By the way, hi, Andy. Hey, Lori. So, any which way is cool. And I do like calling and asking. But it's so simple nowadays to triangulate that through LinkedIn. And I just got done saying to somebody here a few moments ago, Susan, that in the boot camp, I can't remember if you're in the boot camp. I don't think you are. But in the boot camp, that LinkedIn X-ray that we show you, we teach you how to search for the people that have the most likely titles inside the company that you want to search for, and how to search Google with the LinkedIn X-ray and all that good stuff I was just talking about, of how to find the right people. So if you're in the HR department, how do you find the head of HR or chief people person or whatever? We teach you how to do that. Now, on a free basis, you can do that in LinkedIn. You can use the advanced search feature in LinkedIn, and you could put your search parameters related to your particular field, whatever that is. But there are multiple options, and I don't think there's any preferred way. Any which way that gets you the name is a good way with me, right? Like I that's what I think. Sabah, happy New Year's to you. Raj, hey. Lorenzo. Question, best short LinkedIn connection message to a hiring manager. Lorenzo, I would take my boss hunting cover letter and you can shrink it if you want, for sure. All right. Raj, I have 15 years, so on and so forth. All right. Let's see. Annie's. Hi, Andy. My girlfriend is in her late 20s looking for a new position, but she doesn't know how to go about the marital question. She's not married. What is the impact of the answer? I'm not sure where you are living, but in the United States, they cannot ask you that. So I'm not sure. If you could tell me where you live, if it's appropriate, if they can ask you that. Different cultures are, they have different regulations. Darius, how are ya? I'm a boot camper. Katie Gonzalez. Let's see. Hi, Andrew, I have a degree. This looks like a question. Folks, make sure if you have I'm trying to go slow, but make sure if you got a question, put question marks, because I'm going to have to start picking up the pace. Hi, Andrew. I have a degree in information technology, but only have a little experience from my internship in college. Also, I am self-taught, have been working in a different field, don't know what to put. Well, if you are... So what you didn't tell me is how long have you been out of school? So I'm going to give you two answers. If you've been out of school a while, you got to put your professional resume together like I would teach in how to put the professional resume together in all those videos. But I would probably move your education, either move the section to the top or in the profile, put, hold, BS degree in information technology from wherever that is. But you got to get the education up top. That's one way. If you are recently graduated, then I would use the collegiate template, and your education will be right below the profile. All right, hope that helped. Amir, how you doing, my boot camper? And Brooke, my boot camper and leader. I love the double whammies. CJ, how are you? C Lion, hey. Hi, Andy. I came across many ATS that mandate salary expectations. They do. I have to give a number, not even a range. I see. Otherwise, it would not allow me to submit. Now, so if it is a required field and it's an open text, you could put open or negotiable. If it looks for a number, like you have to actually, like it says that's invalid, then put 1 or 0. Try that. If it gives you the drop downs will usually be a range. They're not going to have a drop down broken down to the dollar. So if I understood you correctly, I would just put it a 0 or a 1. If you have to select, then just select whatever your current comp is. Don't worry about them holding you to that. Nobody pays attention to that stuff. It's usually used as a filter to see if you are way out of whack, and which you should not be. If you're applying for something, you should be reasonably close. Darius Urban, my boot camper. Hi, people. Turnover in the company. Oh, high people turnover in the... Let's start this again. Darius Urban, my boot camper. High people turnover in the company. Should I proceed with the application? I don't want to make the same mistakes again. Yes, you should proceed with the application. Why is there high turnover? So here's a couple things, folks. Number one, don't put a ton of stock in stuff you read on Glassdoor or anywhere else. Go in and find out for yourself. You can investigate that. You can ask the questions. I've talked about this dozens and dozens of times. If you see a high turnover, you have to question why there is high turnover. So give me an example. Let's say I work for a product development company, and the HR people, the marketing people, right? The recruiters, the sales people, the finance people, and everybody loves the company, but the product development engineers are constantly turning over because they're working crazy hours to try to make product releases. And you've got an isolated level of high turnover, which makes it look like there's high turnover. Does that matter to you? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe you're a product engineer, or maybe you're a salesperson that worries about the quality of the product. I don't know. But you've got to look. So your question to me was, should you apply? My answer to you is, heck yes. Go in there and find out what's going on. That's what I would do. All right. Hey, Rose, how are you? My daughter has a diploma in international relations and she intends to pursue a degree. Which area should she specialize in? Rose, I would highly recommend that she specializes in whatever she loves. And I will never tell anybody, her, you, or anybody else what they should love. All right. Thanks, Stacy, for reminding about the question mark. Andy Perez, how are you? What is your best tip for not giving up while seeking for a position? I have been looking for work for nearly a year now. The response that I receive are not too positive. So, Andy, I'm not sure why the responses are not positive, whether you're actually getting responses or if you're getting silence or what. So, a couple things. Some of you get deflated because you say, well, Andy, I submitted 450 applications and I'm not having any luck finding a job. And when I say, you're not even failing, you're not even getting a swing at the plate, that's not job searching. I'm not saying that you're doing this. I'm just saying, so people think they're failing and they stink, but no one is actually seeing their resume because only a few % of the resumes that are ever put in an applicant tracking system are ever even seen. Okay, then others are having a difficult time because their messaging to people is not correct and they're not writing proper messages. Maybe you're not a good email copywriter. That could be a problem. Maybe your resume isn't written well and it's not really selling you in the greatest light. There could be any one of a number of issues. But Andy, for you, since you threw me in the big blue ocean, I'm going to point you to the place I would get started and then what I would do second. So the first thing I would do, if you have not seen it, is the webinar I mentioned a few minutes back about how to find a job you love goes through 10 of the most important areas that you should focus on. It gives you 10 tips of what to do in each of the areas. That's everything from reflection all the way down to like salary negotiation and everything in between. And then it also talks about all the mistakes people make. You get an awesome, awesome booklet. My 10 by 10 job search formula is a free download. Dare I say, it's my best damn download, and not that many people take it in relation to like the resume template, the thank you template, the cover letter templates. But the 10 by 10 job search formula is a holistic. You have an assessment up front. It helps you self-diagnose. It exposes your troubled areas, and it shows you, based on a qualitative assessment that I give you from the quantitation that you make from your own standpoint of where you think you are on the spectrum based on the questions I ask you. Then you can diagnose it, use the tool, figure out where you need to brush up, and go from there. So, Andy, that's the first place I would start, because I'm not certain why you're not. You know, if you said, hey, I'm getting all kinds of interviews, but I'm not getting past the interview, well, you got an interviewing problem, right? So So it's not as easy the way you described it. But for any of you, I don't care what your issues are, even if you know what the issues are, you need to be going to get that 10x10 formula. So it's on the Mile Walk Academy front page. It's right there. So go take that. All right, 147 of you. I gotta say this for an announcement break, and life is always better with chickens around. I cannot thank you enough. We're doing this on January 9th, and I am totally stoked about what's coming up in 2020. Number one, I think you ought to give yourselves a pat on the back. The fact that you're here with me, you're investing in yourself, you're spending time with me in the middle of the day on a Thursday says something about you. It does. It's positive. It's not negative. It's positive. And remember that. You're doing the right things. You're taking the right steps. And the fact that you're having a little trouble, I don't want you to beat yourself up, because fact of the matter is, I do this every day of my life all day long, 7 days a week, year in, year out, right? That's why I know what I know. You get paid to do something else, okay? So take advantage of the assets that I have. Come to the shows, right? Put the time in. You will get to where you need to be. And in 2020, the reason I'm so stoked is we've got so much stuff coming up that we're going to be giving you. I've got a goal-setting success webcast a week from Friday. So on the 17th, I would highly recommend you jump in on that. We'll get your goals in order. We'll get your projects in order. It's pretty packed. I mean, it's a pretty solid hour plus of just teaching. It's really nice. And then in the wake of that, the following 2 weeks is that job interview mastery workshop. I would highly recommend signing up for that. You can get at that stuff from the Mile Walk Academy. You can keep an eye on your emails. We're communicating via email. If you're in the Facebook groups and all that good stuff, you'll see it in there. You might even catch some of it on social media. But I really want to thank you. I know how hard you guys are working. I know a lot of you come in, week out. So I really appreciate it. It's just you guys are a wonderful, all of you, wonderful beings in this community. Brian R., have a question. In most of my interviews, I get sweaty palms. It really embarrassed me in front of a situation when handshaking. How can I better handle the situation? So, Brian, I am not a nerves expert, but the one thing that always helps me calm my nerves, there's two things. When people get nervous in situations like that, where you're in a public setting, because you are in a public setting, sometimes you're speaking in front of 1,000 people, and sometimes you're speaking 1-to-1, right, or 1-to-5. When I'm in I always feel like, for me, I don't worry about flubbing my lines with you guys, and the reason that I don't ever worry about that is because all I focus on is, you need my help, and I'm here to serve you. Now, I realize in an interview, you are going to attain something, which often, when a lot of people, when people get nervous or when they're not operating like themselves, which is what sweaty palms is, or I'm not calling you a choker, but like when people get in the big game and they choke, right, or they get nervous, usually that's a function of imagining that the moment is bigger than they are and that they're so worried. But fact of the matter is, when you go into an interview, number one, they've effectively, through their actions, said you're qualified. You should take some comfort in that. Number two, your focus should be not on the job itself, but on, I'm going to get this experience that's going to make me a better person because I'm getting an opportunity to learn. Think about that first. I know you have to sell yourself. I want you to sell yourself effectively, right? I don't want you to be nervous, and I want you to be, right, smooth and cool and all that good stuff. But I think if you do get that nervous, then you need to think about, okay, I'm going to go in. I've got nothing to lose because I don't have that job yet. And I'm going to gain a great experience. I'm going to meet some nice people, right? Those people, they want you to succeed. When they're interviewing you, everybody's happy when they hire somebody, right? Check, it's off their list. And the other thing you got to remember about interviewers is they're not trained. That's not their skill. They don't want to be there. Most of them, 90% of them, don't want to be interviewing you. Right? So they would love it if you were the right person. Think about all those things as you go in there, and then it will calm you down. The other thing that I would do is I would highly recommend watching my confidence videos. I have multiple confidence videos on my YouTube channel, and in most of them I talk about interview confidence and how not to get nervous and how to sound confident and all that good stuff. I think it'll really help you. I really do. And I do wish you a lot of luck because I know that can be very, very frustrating and nerve-wracking. So good luck with that. Hey, Yolanda, what's the best way to start your career with a degree in economics? Yolanda, a degree in economics to me is like a degree in anything, meaning, and I mean it in a positive way, not a negative way. And I would focus on what I like. And I would probably, assuming if you chose economics and you enjoy the business world, I would focus on business-related positions. But you could really focus on whatever you've discovered throughout your studies. Go where your passion is. And I would not, by the way, I want to be really clear. I'm not telling all of you to chuck everything you're doing and go follow your passion. Okay? I'm not saying that at all. But somebody who has a new degree, who wants to step into a career, should look at what you learned. Well, in your degree in economics, you learned a lot of different things. You learned stuff about business. You probably took some electives around psychology, maybe marketing, who knows? All these other things. And out in the world, there are needs for people who are educated, organized, got good interpersonal skills and all that good stuff. And look for the intersection of what you're interested in and what they need and what you can do. Okay? And I'm not going to do my Venn diagram because Kyle's going to make fun of me, but that's ultimately what you're looking for, is the intersection of that. And what I would focus on is what energizes you. Were there subjects that you took that gave you great energy? Right? So I don't when I look at what I do and in helping you guys and all that good stuff, I focus on a career and within the career activities that energize me. Okay, that's what I do. This gives me joy. Okay, I never get tired when I'm sitting in front of the camera. I always get done with the show, and I've even got more energy than when I started the show. And if that sounds odd, that's what I mean by chase what energizes you. So look at your studies. Think about, where'd you have the most fun? You know, interestingly, I was an electrical engineer. Okay, electrical engineer. 4 years of, actually 4.5 years, because it's a 5-year program, but 4.5 years of chemistry, physics, Ohm's law, all the electronic stuff, all this stuff that while analytically was fun, I couldn't care less about. You know what my favorite subject was? Psychology. You know what my second favorite subject was? Econ. If I had to do this all over again, I'd be a psych econ major, because everything that I do every day right now has nothing to do with engineering and everything to do with psychology. So I wish I could have done, I wish I'd have just started that way back when. So that's how I would think that through. And I think that's a broader lesson for you all. So it doesn't matter if you got a shiny new degree or if you want to make a career change. If you want to make a career change and you want to pivot or make a whole left turn, think about what energizes you, what are you able to do, and what are the needs in the market. And then the career changers, you're going to have to leverage your network more because you're going to have to get introductions and so on. So I hope that helps, and great to have you. I know you're a frequent visitor. Thank you. RC Rice. Hi, Andy. Does LinkedIn Easy Apply act as an ATS in any way? It effectively is. It really is. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but like you hit a button and then I think your LinkedIn profile goes, your resume, you can attach a resume and things like that. I haven't really used it. We don't use it. But yes, it effectively is. All right, I think I saw Lori. I think I got that. Ha. Did I? Are some of you, I think some of you might be re-entering your questions. I'm just going in order. And if you jump in, like if you jumped in at 11:30 when I started at 11, you won't see a lot of the previous chat unless you rewind me, which you can do, by the way. I don't know. It's like it's set to DVR, and you can kind of zip me back. Hang on, there we go. But you can do that. Sandeep. Hi, Andy. Got 12 years of experience of working with one of the Fortune top 100 companies from Asia Pacific. Can the U.S. market directly hire managers from non-U.S. markets, or is it must be a techie only? No. So the answer to your question is yes, they can, but the real question is, will they? If there are visa issues and other things. So if you've got a specialty skill that's rare, they will, without a doubt. Anne-Marie, you're welcome. I don't know if I'm going to get this right, but I'm going to take a shot. Niveditha? Hi, is it okay to, I'm assuming you mean complain against an immediate boss to his boss, reporting head. So every situation's a little different. My default response and my default act. If I have an issue with my boss, I'm going to my boss. And I'm going to express my feelings, my sentiment. I'm going to do it in a tactful way. I'm going to ask, right, that for honesty and trust and openness to be able to have that dialogue with him or her. If all fails, then and you are left with no choice because you're not getting anywhere and he or she is not working toward trying to amend the relationship or work toward a healthier relationship, and you feel like the only way you're going to make progress is to do that, then I would just be careful because that's going to upset your boss without a doubt. So just be cautious. All right, Patty, 6 months looking for work, finally decided to apply somewhere else. I'm an office assistant. All right, well, you are welcome. Ron Wilson. Hi, I just want to thank you for your videos. I've always struggled with small talk at the beginning of an interview, and I watched your video on building rapport, and it made a huge difference. Awesome. If you all, it doesn't matter if you're fun and fancy and footloose, check out the building rapport video because that's going to give you the best lines to open with. And, check it out. I go through different scenarios that you can leverage, but I would check that out. And I'm glad. Thanks for the shout out there. And B, hi Andy, further advice on being more confident on not answering dreaded salary question up front until receiving an offer. I would check out my confidence videos and I would check out my salary expectation videos and all those things there, B. I mean, I've hit that one to death. All right, let's see. 11:57. Couple things really quick. I want to make some announcements. Okay, let me see. Goal Setting Success Webcast. It's live. No replays. It's Friday, next Friday, the 17th. If you register by Monday, the 13th, then on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday next week, I have an email lesson for you about goals. Each day is a different lesson, 3 lessons emailed right in a row, and then that's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday we have the session. I give you a great workbook that you can take notes, you can follow along. It's a slided presentation that I'm going to be giving you, and in the workbook is the goal sheet that I use for all of my goals. It has all the sections in it. It's 3 pages. It's boxed for you and everything. It's pretty sweet. So if you sign up, you will get that. So please do. I mentioned on the 21st, we start a 4-part job interview mastery workshop. You'll be hearing more about that. My boot camp, my job search boot camp, my end-to-end job search signature program is on special all month through January 31st. This is the dreamiest month to search for work, and I want you to have all the assets. So it's on special all month, and then January 3rd, so it's self-paced. Then on January 31st through the end of February, every Friday, I think for 4 Fridays or whatever, we have private boot camper coaching sessions. The other program that I have that is also on special, another premium program, is my Leadership Monthly Live program. It is $49 a month. That's the regular price. You can get in and try it out for a month. When you do that, you get my Career Accelerator program. That's a $400 course. You get that free. If you go in on my annual package, which cuts your price in half, it's a bigger first-time payment, one-time annual payment, but it cuts the $49 in half. You not only get the Career Accelerator program, you also get my Goal Setting Masterclass. So that's on special through the 24th of January. So check that out. I talked about the books already. These little beauties are free if you want to get them. when you get this or anything, you can join the Mile Walk Academy private groups. And I got a little bit of on the Leadership Monthly program, every month I go live, literally like every 4 weeks. This month on January 24th, we're talking about perseverance in achieving success. So you're going to hit the challenges. What happens? How do you persevere? It's a great, great topic. Got a lot of that good stuff coming up in the first quarter this year, but that's January's topic. And what's really funny, see those chairs back there? So on New Year's Day, I sent an email. So a week ago, a lot of you got an email. And inside I was sharing a whole bunch of my stuff, like my favorite this, some favorite books I read this year, TV shows I'm watching, things I can't, like, I don't know if this made the my pen packet, my journals, all this stuff made the list. But the single most clicked link by millions of miles was what those chairs were. And people on these live shows have emailed us and said, what are those chairs? And then went out and bought them. So I just thought that was really funny, but those are the Wells chairs. And if you haven't read your New Year's Day good wishes email from me, dig it up and check it out. But it was a lot of fun, and I want to thank all of you who actually responded to that email. There was a ton of you who responded and shared your favorites with me. So I want to say thanks for that. I think I forgot to mention that on Tuesday when we had our coffee session. And speaking of Tuesday, this coming up Tuesday, the live show of Tuesday is going to be inside our Facebook group, the private Facebook group. It's at 11 o'clock Central. I'll be live. We'll do a Facebook Live event. I'm going to talk with you about what we're doing from a community management standpoint, how we're going to better support you in those groups this year. I'm also going to be doing a Q&A and all that other good stuff for your careers and things of that nature. So if you got any questions, let me know. If you grab something, you immediately get a welcome email. You can jump into the communities. If you are already in the Mile Walk Academy as a paying member, let us know if you can't find the groups because they're private, but we'll get you the links and you can jump in. All right, folks, 12:02. I gotta run. Thank you so much for coming. Thanks, Stacy, for helping me with this stuff. I will catch up with you all on Tuesday or Thursday next week. Take care. See you soon.